Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence starts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Permission to board. Permission to come aboard. Permission to board. Permission to bring me aboard. Permission to come aboard.
Welcome to the Permission Granted podcast. Here's DA.
All right, welcome inside Permission Granted podcast number 70, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Nice round number. This is the show within the show. This is the behind-the-scenes show. This is where you get your inside information, your inside dirt on the mothership. You can always find us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show. We're always on YouTube as well, youtube.com/The Show, on iTunes, and the normal DA on CBS audio page. Coming up, a friend of mine who is a longtime MLS veteran, also played for the U.S. men's national team, Jimmy Conrad. Funny dude, we've had him here on the show before, but he's also a big Star Wars fan. So I want to get his thoughts on the newest episode, the newest movie of Star Wars. That's coming up here with Jimmy Conrad. And also, Mraz is going to join me a little bit later on because I've got a Christmas confessional. And after that, James Ward drops by to give in off-the-air awards winners this week. So all very exciting. Jimmy Conrad, JC, how are you, bud?
What's up, DA? How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Our relationship, our friendship goes back to when we were both in Kansas City. You played for the Wizards from 03 to 10. I was out there basically for the same years as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You were joining me on my show a lot back then. I don't know if I ever asked you about your Star Wars fandom. I really wasn't aware until I saw you on social media tweeting about this recently. How
You know, all I remember, DA, is you giving me warm hugs after a loss.
Yeah. That's
what I remember most.
That's basically what I could really...
Yeah, I mean, that was... I didn't know if you wanted to... It's fine. But yeah, Star Wars is a big deal. It's a really big deal in my life. I've properly brainwashed my two little girls.
Good.
We were really excited to see The Force Awakens, and we're probably going to see it again here in the next few days.
How old are they?
My oldest is 8.5. She's in 3rd grade, which makes me feel old. And my youngest is 4.5. She starts kindergarten in August, which also makes me feel old.
Did you make them aware of the prequels?
You know, right when we got home from the movies, my oldest said that she ranked all of her top 7, and she went, number 3 was first. She went with one of the prequel
Phantom
movies.
Menace was her favorite?
No. Phantom Menace is number 1. Number 3 was...
Wait, yeah. Oh, number 3.
Darth Vader, when he turns into Darth Vader.
Oh, the Sith
process.
Returns or whatever.
Yeah, she's looking past the wooden acting and the terrible writing and really enjoying the moment where Anakin turns to the dark side.
Okay, so that's a little frightening.
It is.
But, so you did expose her to the prequels. See, I feel like when I have kids, I will not allow them to know that the prequels ever existed.
No, I wanted to do the same thing, but it popped up. It used to be on Spike all the time. So we just recorded all of them, and she really, for whatever reason, they spoke to her. She looked past, again, the bad acting, Jar Jar Binks, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But she ranked number 3 first, The Force Awakens second, and then she really liked New Hope, number 4. So 4 was 3rd on her list.
Okay.
And then the last 2 were 2 and 1. Like she actually likes Return of the Jedi more than Empire. We're gonna have a long talk about that.
Okay.
And then Phantom Menace was actually last. So I think Phantom Menace is gonna be last for everybody that has really understands the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Thank God that she ranked Phantom Menace last as well. So what did you think of the new one?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a nice mix of the 4, 5, and 6 episodes. I liked that there's action and drama and a lot of humor in the movies. And I thought J.J. Abrams did a good job. And I think what really came across for me was that it was made with love. You could tell that the movie was made with love and with care. And I thought that was really neat because the first 3, the prequels, were just like, how much money can I spend on special effects? And that just took away from the charm of the 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I felt as though the prequels weren't even of the same kind of DNA as the original 3. They didn't look anything like it. They didn't feel anything like it. As you said, terrible acting, stupid stories, too dense to even figure out, really boring, and all computer graphics. This one, the best thing I could say about it was it captured the spirit of what the original 3 were, you could watch this and it felt like it was a Star Wars, like a real Star Wars film. That to me is the greatest compliment.
Yeah, and I mean, I was kind of waiting for you to have a caveat. Did you like The Force Awakens? Did you like it?
I did. I liked it a lot, and I went in as a real skeptic. I thought, boy, I've had the bar lowered so low with the prequels. I can't expect anything really that good. I'm also figuring nostalgia's lenses will make me only like the first three. And I kind of thought, oh, they're probably just going to try to appeal to the modern audience, which might not have the nuance or the patience for some of the old stuff. I thought he nailed it. Now, I didn't think it was perfect, but I thought for the most part, I walked out, I said, boy, that's way better than I would have thought, and I really liked it, and I'll go see it again in the theaters.
Especially, I mean, with the expectations and hype, I thought he really did a good job of handling that as well, because it could have been a total dud. And I thought he did a good job introducing a couple new characters and a new storyline that I think, it's less I think, it's more that I hope that the storylines that he put in place for this one will make this movie even stronger. So once we see episode 8 and 9, you can go back to 7 and go, oh, I completely understand why he put that little subtlety in that might not make sense now. It seems like a plot hole, but will make sense later on.
Okay, so let's just do spoiler alert here. We're going to talk about spoilers. We're going to talk about everything. Number one, the biggest thing. What'd you think about killing Han Solo?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. You know, I thought Princess Leia, you know, she clearly had an issue with her son as well. Why couldn't she have reached out and gone on the trip to do that? You know, a mother-son, that relationship seems stronger than a dad-son. In some ways, and his anger towards his dad seems so strong. Let the mom come in and rescue that. But, you know, I was sad to see him go. But at the same time, sometimes movies hold on too dear, or especially this mythology, to their star characters, and so he had to go. I'm interested to see more about what happens with Luke, because it seems so ominous, and his relationship with Rey, if that's his daughter or whatever it may be.
Totally agree. I thought it was a gutsy move by J.J. Abrams to kill Han. I also, though, thought there might not have been much of a decision, because couldn't you just see Harrison Ford be like, I can give you one movie, but you got you got to kill me. I can't do 3 of these. Yeah,
no question. I mean, I could totally see that happening. And he's so gruff in his interview styles when he's talking about it that he's just doing it to cash in and all that stuff. I mean, if that's how he's feeling, but sometimes it takes some of the charm out of his character, because you know he's just doing it for a paycheck. But he's so good at the Han Solo character. It was fun to see him back in that role and to kind of see him pass the baton on to the next wave of actors.
I was a little worried about seeing all the old guys back, because I said, boy, you know, 65-year-old Harrison Ford, old, wrinkled Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, oh boy, and when we know Carrie Fisher has not aged well. And I think that they all looked good. I mean, Mark Hamill looked specifically very good in the final scene, but, you know, Carrie Fisher looked like she lost some weight and she had a little Botox done. You know, Princess Leia was bringing it.
Yeah, she was bringing it. She was in her famous bikini or whatever. I'm sure people would have had a different opinion of her on that. But
correct.
No, I thought it actually got kind of emotional when I saw them all on screen. It's maybe only because it dates me a little bit. So all these people, especially since I just watched those movies with my girls recently, just to see how much they have aged. I mean, man, I guess I'm getting old too. Like, you can't be that 10-year-old anymore that just loves everything that they were doing in the whole universe.
What'd you think about one problem that I think was an interesting point is I've seen some people point out that when Han dies, there's no real reaction from the Rebel Alliance when they come back. And there's no like kind of mourning period or honoring period or wake or anything. It's like, you know, Han just died. I mean, shouldn't everybody at least pour a 40 out for him, you know? So did they need more of that?
Yeah, I thought that's a good one. That hadn't crossed my mind, but because I feel like Rey and Princess Leia had that moment at the end that lent himself to that. Like, he gave a nod to Han Solo dying, and there really wasn't anything to say, just other than it's really sad. But I think everybody was just so excited they blew up the most craziest like Death Star thing I've ever seen, like half planet, half Death Star. That, you know, maybe it wasn't that in that moment they needed to honor Han and to take away from the happiness of clearly a massive achievement.
Did you like the humor that was in there? For the most part, I liked it. I thought it worked. I thought maybe there was 1 or 2 jokes that were unnecessary, but for the most part, I thought it worked.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and I thought John Boyega, Finn, had some of the best lines, you know, and the whole interaction with him and BB-8 giving the thumbs up and him trying to help him. I thought that was a really nice interaction. I thought it lent a lot of personality to both characters.
Yeah, it gave them a little context. I like that. I thought at some points it almost felt like, hey, let's write a funny line here, which I said, hey, you just got to let it happen naturally. But I would say 80 to 90% of the humor in it really worked and the jokes worked, and it was subtle enough to where it wasn't trying too hard.
No, I agree. I really enjoyed all facets of the movie, and I didn't really go in maybe as critical as you sound like you did. I just went in to enjoy the experience, to get back into something new, but Star Wars, and to be able to watch that through my kids' eyes was really neat too, because they were just in awe of the whole thing. However, I will say that my youngest was more scared of Adam Driver's face than Kylo Ren's mask. So I don't know. I tweeted that out, and I apologized to Adam Driver. I don't know what to make of that, but she's actually more afraid of his face.
Well, he has a very striking nose and profile and some birthmarks on there. It's quite a scene when he takes off that mask.
Yeah, I mean, it is a scene, and I was surprised that he did it. It felt like at the beginning of the movie he was committed to that whole thing, but I guess with the storyline of him fighting the lightness inside of him, which I think will be interesting to see how that plays out. One of the questions I had was how quickly Rey picked up the Force. It's like Luke out of 3 movies to get to where she's at after 15 minutes in Force Awakens. So I don't know if it's because she already had previous training. Maybe she was a young Jedi under Luke at some point. I mean, there's a lot of question marks around Rey, and I like that there's some mystery around her. I think it makes it heightens the movie a little bit.
I thought she was awesome. I thought she was absolutely such a great actress, and didn't she came off as a badass, which is I think is a hard role to play.
It is, and it's been notorious that there haven't been very many female actors, at least in the original trilogy. There was like no females anywhere. So for them to kind of acknowledge that it might be important to have a strong female lead, not named Padme, Queen Amidala, that would be pretty sweet. And I thought they nailed it. I thought the way she acted was great. The writing was good. And again, I can't emphasize enough. It really felt like it was made with love. Sure, there were some mistakes or whatever, but you knew the people that were taking care of this movie really gave a and I thought that was really cool.
Totally right. The prequels sucked because it felt like they didn't give and they didn't care about the legacy. They didn't care about what had happened before. And this was, hey, we need to really protect what had happened before and really make it out of respect of that. And that was the difference. So where would you rank it all time in your favorite movies from the Star Wars?
I would put it after. It would go right in order. So I would go 4, 5, 6, 7. And then probably 3, 2, 1. Maybe that can change over time, but it's really going to be hard for any movie to break into the stranglehold that 4, 5, and 6 have on my life, and how much they meant to me growing up, and how much influence they had on, kind of that hero complex. As a professional athlete, you have to have success. You can make any play and score the winning goal or blow up the Death Star, So, I think 7's right there. I think it could fit right into the conversation. You could probably interchange 7 with 4, 5, and 6, but I'm going to have to see it a few more times to let it really sink in. I need to absorb it some more.
I'm with you. It's right there at 4 after the first 3. Now, is Empire your favorite?
After watching, I've been watching a lot more now because my daughters are into it. Well, I forced them to get into it, and 4 is really strong. There's just something very, very organic about that storytelling, and
that's the original Star Wars. That's the first movie made.
It is. It's the first one. Like, you don't call it A New Hope. You call it Star Wars. And that one that one does stay with me a lot more. And there's so many cool scenes in that one. And again, when I think about the filmmaking overall, they didn't know what they were doing or what they were walking into yet. They hadn't had any success. So it's made with a different kind of feel. I feel like with Empire and Return of the Jedi, there was so much hype around those. And you could tell the budgets were bigger. And there was something nice and organic about Star Wars, the original, that felt really sincere. And I don't know, Empire I like for a lot of different reasons. I think they took some big risks, and I love the ending of Empire because it's so open-ended. It's unlike any sequel you usually see where they need to feel like they have to have an ending. And they knew they were going to tease into Return of the Jedi, so I love that. But they introduced some awesome characters, Lando Calrissian, and all these different worlds that really broaden the scope of what they were trying to accomplish. But again, number 4 is, and this makes me sound like a super nerd, but I really love the storytelling and pacing of 4, and they let it breathe, right? They didn't like force it down your throat. They let the story develop on its own, and I think that's part of why people love it so much.
I agree. I agree with all of that. And you know what? Sounding like a nerd is perfect when you talk about Star Wars, because the people that really love it all sound like nerds, and the people that don't get it are like, all of you guys are nerds. So, hey, before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about what you've been doing on Kick TV, because I love the ice bath interviews. For those that haven't seen this, you go out and you interview players, and you're both sitting in huge buckets of ice water.
Yeah. It was a funny premise I had a long time ago about, what can we do to kind of mix up or change the traditional kind of format of what you see? And I thought, well, why don't I get in some ice baths and interview people? I always thought if somebody had done that when I was playing, it'd be pretty funny. And it's a funny premise. And then you kind of get into some serious stuff and you talk, but you're always like kind of looking at this ice bath, and it makes it so ridiculous as a premise. So we had a good time. It was a preview before MLS Cup. We talked to 2 players that were very impactful in the game, and they were going to play against each other. And they'd known each other for a long time. So I thought it was cool. I wish obviously more people would have seen it. I think it would have given it more like the game itself. You'd watch the interviews and then watch the game. I mean, Nat Borch was the center back for Portland Timbers, and Kai Kamara, the MVP candidate for Columbus Crew, were like against each other all game long. And to see in the interviews how they try to break each other down, I thought was really cool, and would have made you watch the game in a different way. And I wish we had more programming like that, where when I watch NFL now, I just watch it because of fantasy football. Like, my guy's not getting, 10 catches over 100 yards. I don't really give a I don't really care. But to maybe give it a reason for him, or if he's talking about fantasy in an interview or whatever it may be, it just gives it a little bit of texture. And that's how I like to enjoy my sports, and I was trying to give that back to some people that were going to watch MLS Cup.
Well, I think you do that really well, because you allow your personality to come out on all of these videos. You're a fun-loving guy, but you're a former athlete, you're a former player, and a really great one at that. And so you can relate to all of these guys and what they're doing, but you also get the game and the life portion of it. And so I almost wonder if this platform for you, creativity with Kick TV and doing things online, is almost the perfect platform for you, because it allows you to be outside the box of normal, conventional television tropes that kind of never change, and nothing ever seems new there.
Yeah, and we run into that now, and I appreciate you saying that. Those are nice words. I didn't know what I was getting myself into when Kick TV started. I was unfamiliar with the vast universe that is YouTube, and all the personalities and the audience that's there. But it's a platform that allows you to try stuff. So if the ice bath interviews didn't hit or didn't resonate with people, like, all right, cool, we'll scratch that off, won't do that again. And in TV world, it seems like there's this different kind of pressure. They don't even want to take that risk. They would never even try to attempt ice bath interviews because they just don't know if it would hit, or it's just not. We need former players on couches wearing suits talking about the game. That's how people want their information. And I think that's just a really wrong way of looking at it. And I guess for us and the success that we've had at Kick TV, we're glad they still do that, because we feel like we're counter-programming to that traditional stuff. And it's been fun. Every day I wake up, I have a blank canvas to tell another story, try to do it in a different way. I can do characters. I have I'm outraged character where I just pretty much go off on Sepp Blatter the whole time. And I have a megaphone. I just yell at the camera the whole time, kind of like Jim Cramer in Mad Money, that's like on steroids. And it just really resonates with people because I'm saying what they want to say. And I feel like I can say that because I'm in character. If I was just me kind of speaking for me, it wouldn't feel the same. I mean, I would be still outraged, I guess, but it wouldn't come from that kind of like larger than life character where I can just kind of be blustery and blow hard. But have some common sense behind it, not Donald Trump-esque. So it's been fun. It's been a fun science experiment, as I see. And now it's kind of what happens next? How do we build from there? Because we talk to the big networks. We talk to ESPN and Fox, and they love what we're doing, but they don't necessarily know how that translates to TV just yet. So that's going to be the trick, because I just read in the New York Times, ESPN or Disney, who owns ESPN, they're losing a ton of money on ESPN, and they don't necessarily know what to do because people aren't buying the bundle packages on cable anymore. And because they're losing so much money, they need to figure out what's going to be next. And really, it's just pay as you go, or you're buying a subscription on video or whatever it may be. So it's kind of the wild west with this stuff, and just how the music industry got changed with Spotify and Napster and MySpace and all that stuff. I think we're going to see a lot of the same stuff with sports content. And as you know, you're in it, you can see it. things are changing, and what was once traditional is now having to be flexible, and it's tough for those traditional outlets to adapt. Whereas I think we were a lot more fluid and flexible to take advantage of what's happening.
No doubt about it. And everything is changing, and so you have to be prepared for it to change. And I really do feel like MLS is situated well to ride the change. It's a younger person's sport. I think it has the ability to look at things in a different way. It's not your old, stodgy, traditional NFL or Major League Baseball. It is young people, and people haven't seen supporter sections here in the States like this. They haven't seen rivalries in soccer like we have in the Cascadia Cup. They haven't seen what that league is about. I mean, this is a league that's only 20 years old as it is. So to me, it just fits perfectly for you guys to be doing what you do around the sport that you're doing it, because I don't know if that type of stuff would work in such a creative fashion if you try to do it around the NFL. The NFL just feels so stodgy and old
corporate.
school anyway, and corporate. That's the better part.
Does. Yeah, and I think what's interesting is that, especially for soccer in this country and maybe globally, like baseball grew up in the radio age, right? You listened, you got these heroes created for you. You kind of envisioned what these guys looked like. They were larger than life. And when you went to a game, it was like it was a moment you had with your dad or whatever, like this kind of bond that you had with somebody else, and sat there and watched that. And then football and basketball and hockey to a certain extent are all TV sports, and it's reflected in how they're programmed, like all these timeouts, and so we can get commercials crammed in. It's not as free flowing. So soccer comes up, and it doesn't really fit the traditional TV model. Where do you fit in the ad space? Where do you get the commercials in? But online, you can have this community. So if you're a Liverpool fan living in Ohio, you could be on Twitter, and when the Liverpool game's on, you could be in contact with thousands of Liverpool fans around the world having a meaningful conversation about your team, what you're seeing, and it really brings people closer together. Now, I know that happens in the other sports, but for soccer, it feels like it's taken it next level, and it's made more people interested in the sport because you're not just alone watching it anymore. You can watch it with a whole bunch of people and really connect with people. And then from a live game experience, I went and did something with the Milwaukee Bucks for EA Sports, and I played FIFA against one of their guys, John Henson, awesome guy. And we went to one of the games the night before, and we sat in their quote-unquote supporter section, and they were trying to get some TIFO going, get one person leading the charge, and they don't understand it. Like, they want to do it. They want to get more of their fans, more than just saying, hey, I went to a Bucks game last night. They want it to be an experience, and I think they can do it. They just haven't figured it out. And it was just interesting to see how they're trying to get their chants going and how they switch from they go defense, and then 10 seconds later the ball's turned the other way and they're switching to offense. Like, just stick with don't even get involved with the game, what's happening on the floor. Just come up with chants that have nothing to do with that just kind of speak more to your team or to certain players, or just cheer for them directly or whatever it is. And so they're almost there. It's going to take them some time, but it's been interesting to see how other sports are trying to adopt what makes soccer so unique from a live game experience, which is you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're not just going to a game to say you're at a game. You're going there to be a part of the experience. And I think that's where we're going to win over a lot of fans. And that's why when you see the Cascadia rivalries, you see stuff in Portland, Seattle, those fans are into it, because when they go, they're like, this is the best shit ever. Like, I love coming to a game. And once you get them to go once, they're going to continue to come back because they just get that fever of being part of something special.
He's a thinker. He's an actor. He's an athlete. He's a Star Wars nerd. Jimmy Conrad. Got to check out Kick TV if you haven't already. If you're a soccer fan, I'm sure you've watched it before. If you're not, I highly encourage it, because whether you're a soccer fan or not, I think it's really interesting and entertaining content. That's what we're all trying to do here.
That's right.
Jimmy, you're the best. Let's do Irish car bombs here soon.
Sounds like trouble, but yes, I'm in.
All right. You're the best, dude. Thanks.
All right, thanks, you.
Well, thanks much to my man JC, Jimmy Conrad, for joining us here on the PGP. And Mraz joins me now. Mraz, I got to be honest. I've got a Christmas confessional here. I feel a little guilty about this.
Okay. All right. What do we got?
It's Wednesday, about an hour and a half before we'll go on the air.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm going to see you after today, right? You're out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm only back for one day before the new year on Monday. But I think you're in for Doug.
Correct.
So this would be Wednesday would be my last DA show with you of the year.
But I won't see you before Christmas after this. Joe D's already gone. Joltin' Joe is out hitting on chicks already.
Big time with Mrs. Santa outfits or Mrs. Claus outfits.
Yes. And James Ward, I won't see after today, I don't think either.
So unless he's in Sunday for your Sunday morning
But
football.
that'll be after Christmas.
Right, yes.
All the gifts I got you guys didn't come yet.
Well, that's a bad job.
It's a terrible job. And
It's a bad job. What are you, your dad?
I'm serious. That's what I was thinking as well. We crushed Papa Amendo for being late to the Christmas party. I ordered the stuff for you guys. It was a week and a half ago or so. Still hasn't come.
Got to go with the Amazon Prime account, DA.
I guess so. I would have been. Now, I bet you any money it's sitting in my lobby right now.
Right.
Because I left the house early today. I left the apartment early, and I haven't been back until, I came straight to work after what I was doing earlier. So it's probably there. But you guys, the whole point of the Christmas gifts is to give it to you before Christmas, and now you're going to get post-Christmas gifts.
Well, if anything that this show represents, it would be the fact that your host gets the producer something post-Christmas.
Yeah.
It just represents the chaos of the show in general.
Yeah.
So we showed up a little bit, though. I got a gift from Kincaid, who maybe did 10 shows a couple days ago.
What'd Kincaid get you?
I'm not going to spoil that till I know what you got me. No, he got me a very nice gift card. He didn't have to do that, but it was very nice. He told me thanks for all his help on the shows this year and stuff like that. So I thought that was a nice job by him.
It's a great job by him. It's a great job. Yeah, I feel terrible. I really feel the Grinch. So at least my gift will be a thank you for the end of the year. So this will be
that's the way we're spinning this.
We're going to spin this as a 2015 gift.
Okay, that's fair enough.
2015 gift, but honestly, I really faltered here.
At this point, you might as well give it to me for Valentine's Day.
It's bad leadership.
It does start at the top.
Yeah, it's
Coughlin has lost the Giants. DA has lost this locker room.
It's bad leadership. I'm sure if Brady or Rodgers was going to get his offensive lineman watches, he doesn't give them to them after Christmas.
Right. You would think. But hey, you know what? You live and learn. To be honest, it almost makes me. This is the way I'm going to spin it. Makes it feel like the holiday season continues. Right.
Well, that's true.
Tomorrow night or Christmas Eve night, we open up Christmas morning, you open up a bunch of presents, then it's all over and done with. Now, a little something to look forward to.
Yeah, you'll have a little bump at the end of Christmas.
That's nice.
Now,
bump, I'm assuming, what are you getting us, cocaine? Is that what's going on here?
A little emotional bounce. Because the last couple of years, I took the guys out for dinner, right?
Yes.
We went out to dinner, me, you, Brock, and Schwartz. Went out for Italian year one.
Right. Schwartz got a lot of baked clams that year.
That was amazing because we also had that, it was like the fake Sinatra singing to us.
Right. There was a singer, yeah. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Schwartz made sure he ordered as many appetizers as possible for that table.
But that was really fun. It was
of
cool.
Course it was, yeah.
We all went out before the show because we were working the overnight.
I can't believe that was 2 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of our first year on the air here at the network. Then last year, me and you and your wife, and then
Kenny and his girlfriend.
Brock and his girlfriend all went out, and we went out to a cool dinner in Manhattan, and that was a lot of fun. But that had to be, I guess it was a Saturday night because we were doing overnight, or Friday night.
Or Friday night. It was one of those. Yeah, we went out for drinks after. We had a good night.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Big night in the city.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The thing is, I want to do that again. I love doing that because I love getting all the guys together, and
it's nice to break away from this place and do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and my whole thing is nobody needs more stuff. I'd rather have, I told you, experiences. Buy me dinners or drinks or tickets or, that stuff means more to me. I like those experiences. So I love hanging out with all the guys here on the staff. The problem is we all have different hours, so I couldn't find a date that would work.
That's true because we're all here in the evening.
Yes.
Except, either James or Joe won't be. But if we went on a weekend evening, the Saturday, Sunday, Joe can't come.
Right. Well, Ward also works both weekend days.
Right, but at least he works during the day. So, Joe would be out of the mix at night. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, because I was thinking, we could go during the week, but we really can't because it would have to be before the show.
Right.
And once we get out of the show at 10, you've got an hour's drive back.
It's a rough scene.
So what are you going to do? And the guys don't get out of here usually until 11 or later.
Little midnight baked ziti.
Yeah, exactly. And then I couldn't do a Saturday because Joe works on the weekends, and so does Ward, and it would be so. I had to get you guys stuff, and I think I got good stuff. But yeah, I was.
Wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know. Who knows? Who knows? Wouldn't know at
If you
all.
give it to me in a gift bag, I'm smacking you in the head with it. I'll tell you that much.
The 12 DAs are over, and we had one best of the rest that's getting some votes online that we didn't even think of.
No, I've seen a couple of these tweets about this. We didn't even pull the audio.
You know, and I think we might have missed this because it was truly incredible.
You know what? And I'm going to justify this. If you mention why it is, I could explain why it wasn't pulled.
It was your trip in October, was it?
No, that was in May.
Oh, May. I thought it was when you went to the Dolphins.
No, that was 2 years ago, DA.
Oh, okay. So
This was I went to St. Thomas for my 1 year anniversary, and then I went to Florida, and it was during the Ranger postseason.
Oh, yeah. That was during the Rangers playoff run. You went down. You ate multiple dinners at different wing stops. Right?
Yeah, I was at Hooters.
and
woo.
And your drive from Central Florida down to your cousin's place in like Port St. Lucie was a rough one, and you had to pull over not once but twice to do on the side of the highway, the interstate, and you had to use not one but both socks.
Yeah, when Spalding becomes Charmin.
So that's when you use the socks as Charmin. You used one sock, one stop, one sock, the next stop.
Thankfully, I have 2 feet.
So we're getting some votes for this. Yeah, why didn't we include this?
Okay, this is a very simple answer.
Okay.
Because when it comes to, and this is a little behind the curtain, when it comes to the 12 DAs, I am responsible if I hear a great moment happen to pull a clip, to save a clip, and then we have them, and I save them with the date, and that's how at the end of the year we accumulate them. The problem was I was in Florida on the phone on that one. Steve-O, who was syncing that week, was the producer who had enough things to worry about. And I think both you and him, first of all, I'm the one who thinks of the 12 DAs and counts on it. You and him, A, wouldn't have thought about it. B, we're just trying to get by and make sure you stayed on the air.
There's no question.
That is the exact reason that moment slipped through the cracks, because I forget about the moment because I'm, in my mind, clipping them as the year goes, and I have them all at the end of the year, and it doesn't even register. If I was there, well, A, that moment would have never happened. B, I would have been there to clip it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Steve-O is not going to think to clip it, because why would I show him that? I probably should, in hindsight, know, hey, if anything ever memorable happens that I'm not here, save it here. But that's why.
Where do you think it would have ranked if we would have included it?
You know,
Probably top 5.
Is it? Are we only thinking of it as a top 5 because we haven't heard it since and it hasn't been discussed since?
Well, I don't know, because isn't that the recency bias why we put Scosh around, Ramblin' Roger?
Maybe it was
so
a top
high.
5. Maybe it was a top 5. See, I can't. The problem with that moment for me, when you're asking me, is A, I've lived a lot of these moments that have made it. Yeah. But usually when I'm living the moment, I'm in front of you guys, we're all laughing, and you get a sense of it. I was literally telling you that story from a curb outside of Duffy's in Port St. Lucie. So I couldn't get a vibe for the room, so I wouldn't really understand how memorable that moment was. You know what I mean?
I'd have to go back and listen to it again. But I think it was a top 5, top 7. I mean, it definitely makes it. It's definitely a top 12.
Maybe we could tease that for the next podcast, because now that I know when it was, I bet you I could find it.
Yeah, we know specifically when it was. We know the week that it was. I'm sure it was the fail that night.
And I'm pretty sure it was the Friday, because I remember specifically that Steve was struggling booking guests, and I was one of the guests he had to book.
Oh, that's right. That's how bad that week was. Steve-O had to book you.
Right, and that was the end of the week. So that was definitely the Friday of the week I was away. So it would just be, and I think it was before the Ranger game started. So I bet you it was in the 7 p.m. Eastern hour of whatever that Friday was, if we find the date. And I bet you we find it.
And that was also Rangers Lightning, that series.
Yes. And that was a specific night of a game that I was out for that I think was starting at 8. So I bet if I had to guess, it would be the 7:40 p.m. Eastern segment of whatever the Friday was, the week Steve-O was producing, and bam, we'd have that moment.
We'd have it. And I think it would be right in there. So I feel as though we're going to have to go back, dig it up, and maybe play it as a best of the rest. We have a couple of best of shows coming up for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
No, actually, just Christmas Eve. They have fill-ins on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Is that right?
That's right. But if we're really going to take it in honor, your presents are late. Maybe we could have some best of the rest be late, and a little continuing of the Christmas, if you will, after Christmas.
Should we? Well, you won't be back until after the New Year.
Right.
So will you and I share?
Well, the Grammys are in February, and they celebrate.
That's a good point. Will you and I be on the same show any episode next week?
This is it. No. This is it. Because I'm coming in Monday. I have Andy Gresh filling in for you. You're in for Doug. And then you're working Wednesday, and I'm in Atlantic City that night.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at the schedule here. Friday, May 22nd was the night of the Rangers at the Lightning, a 5-1 win.
Yep, that was the game.
That was the game. That was game 4 of the series, I believe.
Right. So that would be Friday, May 22nd at 7:40 p.m. Eastern. I was on the air as a guest.
That week started out strong, and it just faded so badly by the end.
Yeah. You forget about that week because Steve-O has since left us. May his career rest in peace.
Yeah. Steve-O passed on to the other side.
Exactly. But we can dig that. We'll dig that. We'll find a spot to play.
All right, let's dig it up. You got Ward's winners coming up here next?
Ward's winners coming up, and they're going to be must listen as James Ward tries to fend me off in my up the gut picks.
All right, very good. This is Permission Granted podcast number 70.
All right, welcome into Side B of a Merry Christmas edition of the Side B of the Permission Granted podcast. It is Christmas week, and with that, we bring in Santa Claus himself, James Ward, back to the PGP. Ward, how you doing?
So you bring me back to the PGP as Santa Claus. I mean, Mrs. Claus wasn't available. It's been like about a month since I've been invited back to the Permission Granted podcast. So happy to make my return.
We will not have much time to do Ward's winners this week with an abbreviated week with the DA show. We bring it back here on the Permission Granted podcast. Ward, what do we got cooking here?
Pick number 1, I'm going with the GoDaddy Bowl, which is tomorrow in Mobile, Alabama, between Georgia Southern and Bowling Green.
Okay.
Bowling Green is a 7-point favorite. I think this game could actually be one of the most exciting matchups in the bowl season. Georgia Southern runs a triple option, while Bowling Green runs a version of Baylor's air attack. Bowling Green's offense has been explosive all year. They are one of the best offensive teams in the country. I'm taking Bowling Green to cover the 7. I think Georgia Southern is going to get on the board. They're going to score some points, but I don't think they can keep up with Bowling Green. Bowling Green is a crazy offensive team. They have the leading quarterback in college football, Matt Johnson. This is going to be his last game in college football.
And that is who you guys had on Sunday Morning Football with DA last week, correct?
Yes, we had him on Sunday Morning Football. He is truly a very good college football talent. I don't know if he's going to play in the NFL, but this is definitely his last game in college football. They have 3 losses this year to Tennessee, to Memphis, and to Toledo. They're 10-3 on the season. They want to win this game. It'd be their 11th win of the season. This game is also the only bowl with 2 teams being coached by interim head coaches. I think Bowling Green has a lot more to lose in this game. I think they want to finish their season strong. I think they're going to beat Georgia Southern by more than a touchdown. Give me Bowling Green Falcons -7.
And where is the GoDaddy Bowl being taken place?
The GoDaddy Bowl is in Mobile, Alabama. So
you mentioned that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. If you refer to the first thing I said, I think I did say it. They're playing in Mobile, Alabama.
Interesting. Okay, well, pick number 2. He's going with Bowling Green laying the 7 in Mobile.
And pick number 2, I'm going to pick the Sun Bowl, which is being played in El Paso, Texas, this Saturday afternoon on CBS. Washington State -3 against Miami. Give me the Washington State Cougars. Washington State, most surprising team this year in the Pac-12. They can score. They can score in bunches. That's typical from a Mike Leach team. They're 6-3 in the Pac-12 this year. They lost the last game of the season to Washington, and it was a rout, but Washington State's star quarterback Luke Falk didn't play because of concussions. Cougars are much better than Washington State. I don't think it's even close. They're a much better team, and if you look at Miami, they have an interim coach. Interim coaches often struggle in bowl games. Miami's a team in flux. They don't have a lot heading going for them. They got Mark Richt coming in next year. And Miami's going to the Sun Bowl. This is not exactly a game that Miami would usually get juiced up for. Washington State's looking to win their 9th win of the season for the first time since 2003. Mike Leach is going to want his team to come into this game and win by a lot of points. I think this line is way too small. I'm taking Washington State to win the game easily. The line's only 3. I don't think there's going to be a problem with Washington State covering this.
You know, it really is funny. I think we can all agree here that college football is a better sport to watch when the Miami Hurricanes are good. And, you hope Mark Richt brings that to them, because seeing them have to play in El Paso in the Sun Bowl versus Washington State is just a sad fall for a program. It really makes you stop and realize the reality of what the program has become.
Oh, absolutely. And I think when you're kind of trying to handicap these bowls, you look at the teams that are playing in games they're not supposed to be playing in, And how does a University of Miami team, Brad Kai is their quarterback, one of the top recruits from a couple years ago. They have big-time college football players. You look at last year, they had a lot of guys drafted into the NFL draft. Miami doesn't want to be playing in the Sun Bowl. And I think that's going to be in effect from the opening kickoff. I don't think they're going to show up in this game.
Very interesting. All right, so there you go. Bowling Green, Washington State, and pick number 3 is?
Pick number 3, I'm taking the Texas Bowl, which is played at NRG Stadium in Houston between Texas Tech and LSU. Texas Tech is a 7-point underdog. I'm taking the Texas Tech Red Raiders to cover.
That could be a fun game.
Yeah, if you look at these teams, you got Leonard Fournette, obviously, for LSU. You got Texas Tech, who scores points in bunches. Texas Tech upset Arkansas earlier in the year. I think Arkansas and LSU are comparable SEC teams. I don't expect Texas Tech to win, but this is another case. Does LSU want to be playing in the Texas Bowl out of the season they started? They were, the second best team in the SEC for the first half of the season. Leonard Fournette was the Heisman Trophy favorite, and they're playing in the Texas Bowl in Houston, Texas. This is not exactly where they wanted to be. Texas Tech is going to score. LSU's had problems stopping big quarterbacks this year. Patrick Mahomes will have a big day against LSU. And again, LSU, they don't want to be playing in the Texas Bowl. Texas Tech has a lot to gain for this, not a ton of travel. They don't even have to leave the state for their bowl game. They're a 7-point underdog. I would jump on Texas Tech Red Raiders at that line.
All right, so there you go. Texas Tech taking the dog there, taking Washington State, taking Bowling Green. Now, Ward, one more thing before I let you go. It is Christmas time. We mentioned Santa Claus. What was the number one item you were looking for from Santa this year?
I think Christmas you can really tell if you're old by the stuff you're looking forward to getting.
That's true.
As we discussed on the show, I've gained probably about 25 pounds over the last 2 years.
Right.
And it's good weight. Been working out a lot, added a lot of muscle, but I don't have a lot of clothes that fit me anymore. I don't have a lot of underwear. I don't have a lot of socks. I put on my socks. There's holes in all of them because I just gotten so much bigger. I'm really looking forward to some new socks and some underwear. Like, in all seriousness.
So that's your wait. Hold on. I said number one item. Everybody gets socks and underwear for Christmas. It's almost like a waist-on wrap, but that's like your number one thing you're really looking forward to.
Yeah, that and like a grocery store gift card.
And a
easy,
grocery. Oh my God! So basically, you want $50 to Wegmans and some Spalding socks. Ward, what's happened to you, man? Where's the little kid at heart?
I gave up on Christmas a long time ago.
What do you mean you gave up on Christmas?
I mean, it's been a while since I had a Christmas that I was really jonesing for something. It just doesn't really happen.
I mean, do you at least look forward to shopping for people? I mean, is there any Christmas spirit in your bones?
Can I be 100% honest right now?
Well, if you can't be honest on the PGP, where can you be honest?
Fair point. I really wanted to do most of my Christmas shopping yesterday. I woke up terribly sick. I didn't do any of it. So I probably got to buy about 10 gifts between today and tomorrow. I've bought one gift so far this year.
I mean, it's pathetic. That's pathetic. You were literally the Grinch.
That's a fair point. The things I look forward to on Christmas, I look forward to some time off work. I look forward to hanging out with my family. And I look forward to eating a lot. That's pretty much it.
You slob. Did you at least put up a Christmas tree in your apartment?
I did not. No Christmas
You didn't even put up a freaking tree?
Last year we put up a Christmas tree. This year my girlfriend was away for the first 2 weeks of December for work. She came home for about a week, and then she left again, and she doesn't come back until after Christmas. She's spending Christmas with the family. So I have no Christmas decorations. I don't have a wreath. I don't have a tree. I have nothing. So, yeah, if you walk in my apartment right now, it looks like it's, you know what? There's little snowflakes cut out. That's about it.
Oh,
no
great.
Stockings, no Christmas tree.
At this point, you might as well put the Festivus pole in the middle of the living room. What a disgrace.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't know. And I don't know if it happened because, working in this business, you and I both worked on Christmas for 3 or 4 years in a row. I think that kind of dampened my Christmas spirit, to be honest.
I'm back. I'm all in. You better get all in, too.
I don't know. And the Christmas music, I can't deal with it anymore. It just gets me feeling all sour. I guess I am a Grinch.
God, what a disgrace you become. Now you deserve to go 0-3 in the Ward's winners.
It's not happening.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the PGP with Oscar the Grinch. You could follow on Twitter at James Ward CBS. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mraz CBS. Ward, have a very Merry Christmas.
Hey, I'm looking forward to Christmas. No one looks forward to Christmas more than me.
Yeah,
have a good holiday.
As you've portrayed. All right, that's going to wrap it up here on the PGP.